Good afternoon, everyone. We've rolled over that point. We do not grow what we consume every year on this planet any longer for grains. And the earth is just starting to show us how powerful she can become. At what point in the society do we all realize it and society changes? Example here, high winds in Bali ripping through the monkey forest, trees coming down, people scared, running. Beyond what is normal, trees collapsing through the forest. Look at this, just the sounds of people running, Luckily they got out of the way. And then Central Java as well. This is unprecedented, the amount of destruction of our infrastructure, and it just continues. In Central Java, they get floods, but now these bridges that have stood for decades are getting ripped apart. The water flows are far larger than normal, and the same thing we see flood after flood. The streets become the rivers when the water has nowhere to go. This is our new floodplain, is the cities we live in. And even Mount Fuji giving us the sign, the dragon coming out of the peak. Mystical clouds. And speaking of Southern Hemisphere anomalies, looking at South America to the top right. Cold and wet, far more than the norm. And also South Africa, we're looking at about 10 plus degrees Celsius below normal, which is about 18 degrees Fahrenheit. And then you wonder why their crops are wiped out and they're importing corn when they used to be an exporter. Seems to be happening extremes across the Southern Hemisphere. Australia getting heat, but wait until these wrapping cold fronts come through. They're going to cool down in the middle of summer. And the reason I bring that to you, these dust storms, Cordoba, Argentina, darkening the skies inbound. And as we look at the crops, first comes the dust, then comes the hail, and it is flattened. Produce, corn, anything that was put in the fields that was coming up into their maturation season is no longer. Now, how vast and wide is this? Well, we'll soon find out. Start back from scratch if there's time. And this just shows you one minute example that the extremes are just sweeping the planet to the point now it's starting to affect agriculture. Now, at what point do people wake up and they say, all right, this food cost is never going down? Like the cheapest your food will ever be for the rest of your life pretty much is right now. It's going to continue to go up from here. How will that affect our society? If you have to choose whether to heat your home or eat in the middle of winter, that's going to rattle a lot of people's confidence in the economy and life itself. It might happen to a few people in the beginning, but when it starts to happen to a majority of people, then our society unravels. We've seen this through history. We're absolutely at the beginning. And again, who knew this cycle, and why is our civilization changing so much anyway on so many fronts, coinciding with this extremes wiping out our crops at the exact same time? Somebody knew the cycle was inbound. And here's where it gets interesting. We don't grow enough any longer. We're digging into the carryover stocks from this point forward, and when do those run out? If you're suffering from daily aches and pains, listen closely. Top medical experts have unveiled a natural pain reliever that is changing the way Americans fight pain. 100% drug-free, Canalidine. Canalidine is the only solution in the world that optimizes your body's natural painkillers called endorphins, providing full body relief without dangerous pills or known side effects. Over 1 million Americans and hundreds of professional athletes, including UFC fighters, have already embraced Canalidine's pain relief power. Best of all, Canalidine is legal worldwide, certified drug-free, and does not cause side effects, grogginess, or addiction. After 14 years of clinical research, it's been proven safe and effective, backed by thousands of successful use cases from other Americans just like you. Best of all, today you can try Canalidine for less than $1 a day. Click on that link below to try the only Canalidine product in the world, 90 days risk-free. The only thing you have to lose is your pain. And now on with the video. And to set the stage, the Florida orange juice production sliding to the lowest level since 1930. They only produced 12 million boxes this year. But at the apex, as you see, around like 1998 or so, they were around 250 million boxes. 12 million. That's 20 times less production. So we move over. Orange juice prices near record highs amid fears of the worst Florida harvest in a century. Even though we have the green revolution, better techniques for growing, better storage, and then we're still getting wiped out at this level. And as you can see, these prices right around 2020 started to go up. And you're going to see this profile continue as long as they keep continuing records into the future. So 2030, 2040, we will see as this is the beginning point. It's just going to keep going up and up. This will be the same for almost all foods. Coffee at record high, cocoa record high, everything record high, except the grains. But this is where it really starts to get into the awareness of the public going, wait a minute, something's wrong here. You can work this out yourself pretty easily once you see the calculations and how to find these numbers. So what you're looking at is the orange juice storage levels. That's the key, storage levels. How much you're storing from either this year or the previous year, called carryover stock. So if we go down on the right side of the chart, that's where we are this year. That's how much is stored, frozen, kept in warehouses, in addition to what they might have in pulp, concentrate, or fresh coming in off the fields. But you see, that's how much we have available to us. You go all the way back, you go way back to the left of the chart there until we find something in 1970s equivalent. That shouldn't be happening. So pulled up the USDA World Grain Market chart here. This is for November, just last month. Now the production, total consumption, and then the ending stocks. I want to focus on the production and the total consumption where that yellow arrow is. So the production, as you can see, is lower than the consumption, which means we didn't grow enough this year to equal the amount of demand in the world. We're at a deficit. So what are we doing? We're pulling out of those ending stocks, out of the world totals. So it might look as minute now, 7 million tons here, 7 million tons there, but that's all we have. We have gone into deficit now. So from every year forward, we will not grow what we need to equal the planet's consumption. So we will keep nipping and chipping out of that ending stocks. And when that is gone, all we grow is what we get, and it will not be growing enough. And I thought, okay, that's world wheat production. Let's move over to the coarse grains. That's like sorghum, soybeans. What do you see again? Yellow arrow. Production about 15 million tons. Okay, again, the same rules apply. 15 million tons here, 15 million tons there. How long is it before those carrying over stocks or the ending stocks run down to zero and we grow less than what we need for the entire planet's usage? And I thought, let's do the same thing with corn. Yellow arrow, once again, production top, middle consumption. It's only about 10 million tons this time, 10 million tons here, 10 million tons there. Oh yeah, that what the 15 million tons over from the coarse grains. Oh, what about the 8 million tons from wheat? No, wait, that's a lot. That's approaching 30 million tons. Over here, over there, and we're chipping into those carryover stocks. So now the cat is out of the bag. This is slowly becoming a thing. Anybody in the grains world gets this already. When does the rest of the world wake up to it and the average person understand? Like, you can do the math out. And if we have any more conflicts that take grain belts offline, these numbers are going to shrink far faster than the projections. It's going to come around before the next decade. This will be the thing that will shift our world indefinitely. Our carrying capacity is going to have to decrease. There just won't be enough food grown for everybody. When, put it in play right now is how many things are changing that you see around the world. Was it just organically changing, or was it forced? The new economy coming in. These are the things you might want to ask yourself, have a few conversations with others and show them the numbers, see what they think. Because in Africa, they're already on it. Egyptian military agency takes over wheat buying from the old supply group. So now the grains are under the control of the military in Egypt. Who would have ever thought? General authorities supply commodities. They understand bread, like it did before, overthrew the leadership. Nigeria reportedly moved to criminalize corn exports to combat hunger. It's already reaching some crescendo points in other countries. So you're going to put people in jail for exporting corn. Now, whoever would have thought? This is the world we've moved. ED, we're already in it. But let's relax. Harvesting fields of lavender. It's actually my first time seeing combines used in this way to harvest lavender. Peaceful scenes in France. And if you are looking for storable foods, My Patriot Supply and Adapt 2030 4-week food supply, and get some free bonuses when you order today. That link's in the description box below. I do appreciate you watching. Hope you got something out of the video. Please share these numbers with your friends, your family, and show them the reality of the reason that the food prices are increasing. They'll understand it. And it's time to have that conversation with many people. And I'll see you next time. Bye for now.